from the Lakeside Newsroom of the Henrico Citizen, your hometown news source since 2001. This is the Henrico News Minute with publisher Tom Lapis.
Racist flyers found in some communities in Henrico and 2 apartment complexes face lawsuits from the Attorney General. We'll have details in today's Henrico News Minute. It's Wednesday, October 20th, 2021.
And now for the news.
The Henrico Police have increased their patrols in and around some communities in the Fairfield and Varina districts and the county's northern and eastern portions after flyers purportedly from the Ku Klux Klan were found October 15th through 17th in certain areas there. Police received reports of suspicious packages found in the 2 districts that contained the flyers that claimed they were from the Loyal White Knights of the KKK. County Manager John Vitolkis yesterday issued a statement denouncing the flyers, saying, quote, "In no uncertain terms, Henrico County deplores and condemns these leaflets and their twisted message of white supremacy. This community will not be divided," end quote. Police Chief Eric English encouraged residents with information about the incidents to contact the division. If you know something about them, call 804-501-4810 or 501-5000. You can also report anything you know anonymously through Metro Richmond Crime Stoppers at 780-1000 or p3tips.com. Well, 2 Henrico County apartment complexes are among 29 in the Richmond region facing lawsuits alleging that they broke state law by telling potential tenants that they could not pay rent with government vouchers. The lawsuits were filed by Virginia Attorney General Mark Herring on Monday. They each seek $70,000 from the real estate companies that own the complexes. The 2 involved in Henrico are Copper Spring Apartment Homes and the Champions Club Apartments, both in the West End. The lawsuits also seek a, quote, reasonable period of monitoring, end quote, of each complex by the Attorney General's office to ensure compliance in the future, and any additional orders or decrees that might be necessary to fully compensate any prospective tenants who also may have been victims of the alleged discriminatory actions. Now, the suits stem from the efforts of Housing Rights Initiative, a national housing watchdog group that regularly contacts landlords to test their housing practices. According to the lawsuits, HRI representatives contacted each of the apartment complexes this summer inquiring about renting an available apartment using a government voucher. In both cases, the person was told that such vouchers were not accepted, but that policy would be against state law since the General Assembly passed a measure that took effect July 1st, 2020 that makes it illegal for landlords to discriminate against tenants on the basis of their source of funds. People who qualify for a housing choice voucher receive subsidies that are designed to help them afford private market rental options. The program aims to help lower income residents, about 47,000 of them in total in Virginia, to break the cycle of living in public housing. You can find much more on this topic at henricocitizen.com right now. The Henrico County Public Schools graduation rate dropped slightly this year, even as the state's overall graduation rate saw a slight increase. The largest disparities in graduation rates for Henrico students are again among Hispanic students and English learners, and those gaps are larger than for the same subgroups of students at the state level. Overall, just about 90% of the HCPS cohort, students who began high school in the fall of 2017, graduated on time earlier this year. That's compared with the 2020 rate of 90.9%. Since 2018, the graduation rate in Henrico has declined by about 2% after increasing steadily from 88% in 2012. Statewide, though, 93% of students graduated on time this year, up from 92.5% last year. But in Henrico, the graduation rate for Hispanic students was just 72%. That's an 18% gap from the overall class of 2021's graduation rate. Henrico has added more than 500 Hispanic students in the past 4 years. Well, statewide, English learners have fared better each year for the past 3 years in graduation rates, rising from 71% in 2019 to 77% in 2021. But in Henrico, that trend has gone the opposite direction, decreasing from 65% in 2019 to just 62.7% in each of the past 2 years. From 2011 to 2019, English learner enrollment increased from about 3,160 students to more than 5,300 students in the county. Graduation outcomes for English learners are more difficult to analyze because the data that school divisions report to the state doesn't offer much context. English learners' educational backgrounds can vary widely if they immigrated from other countries. But starting this year, data collected by the state should offer more context because it'll include whether or not a student has limited or interrupted formal education. You can read a lot more on this topic by visiting henricocitizen.com and clicking on News and then Education. Henrico Police on Monday arrested a 35-year-old county man on charges of burglary and larceny after he matched the description of a man seen throwing an object through the window of a store in the 7900 block of West Broad Street and then entering it at about 1:30 a.m. Randy Joseph Burns was discovered at a nearby motel where police took him into custody. He was taken to the Henrico Sheriff's Office where he was served with both warrants and is being held without bond. And something to add to your calendar for this weekend, Lewis Ginter Botanical Garden will celebrate with a 2-day Harvest Fest, Saturday and Sunday. It'll feature live music, food, and adult beverages, plus family-friendly activities. All activities are included with regular garden admission, and food is available for purchase. The event runs from 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. Saturday and from 9 to 5 on Sunday. You can learn more at lewisginter.org.